Can we affect the swing of the pendulum? I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. Welcome to the new Cosmic Knowledge channel, where the Christian whistleblower work is just one of the things we do. We're expanding beyond that, blowing out every boundary, destroying every box, expanding every envelope, and pummeling every paradigm. We're going into places that you've never gone before. It's new cosmic knowledge, and I am your humble guide as we set off. Spent all day today at the Wagon Wheel Flea Market. It was a MYSTECH magic moment, and I think that I found an alternative. I like the wagon wheel, but Halo's telling me, hey man, you ought to go to some of these other festivals. I've got Plant City Peach Festival, Gaia Day in Casadega. We've got a whole bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 between now and the end of the year. That might be the way to go to get a crowd that's much more into holistic stuff, a crowd that's much more into spiritual stuff. And you never know, we could do the wagon wheel when there's nothing else to do. But thanks to all of you that came out to the wagon wheel. I saw Andrew today. I saw Sheila today. It was a great time. And we did some good work with folks. We were able to help some people out, had some people come back, give us testimonials. That's great. Talking about these bands that I wear, and you can find them on my website. Oh, okay. I'll show you real quickly. If you just go to jeffreydaugherty.com, we're going to be rolling out new cosmicknowledge.com as well. Click on the MYSTECH logo. You can hear all about them, read all about them, decide which one you want. All you have to do is click on this donate button right here. And that'll take you to this page where you can pay with PayPal or with your credit card or a debit card. And you must see MYSTECH Bands by Jeffrey Daugherty in order to know that you're getting 20% off, and in order to know that you're helping your friendly neighborhood Christian whistleblower. Exciting week coming up. I've got some reinforcements coming in to join me later in the week, and it's going to be just a great, fantastic, enjoyable week. We are really getting to we're moving to another level. We really are. We are moving up to another level, and it's going to be powerful. Sandra D'Angelo says she loves the scarf. Well, she gave it to me. There's a reason why she likes it. I really do like it. Quick shameless plug, folks. You can thank me later. Now, let's get to the business at hand. Can we affect the pendulum swing? Can we affect the swing of the pendulum? Jeff, what in the world are you talking about? Well, if you take a pendulum, and this is not a new cosmic knowledge pendulum, this is not a Jeffrey Daugherty constructed pendulum, but if you take a pendulum, I took a male to female ratio test. Well, Linda, if you do a male to female ratio test of my 13,000 subscribers, it's almost straight down the middle, 50-50. So if you take this pendulum and you hold it all the way to the extreme right position, and I'm trying to swing it, watch what happens. It's held all the way to the extreme right position, and you swing it, it goes, whoa, way back to the extreme left position, right? Let's try that one more time. So we're going to drop it from the extreme right position, and we'll just let it go naturally. Extreme right, way extreme left, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until it's finally going to settle in the middle. So what's my point? Well, I'm attempting to make a spiritual point here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm attempting to make a point, just trying to get my camera to focus. I'm attempting to make a point about spirituality. I'm attempting to make a point about culture. I'm attempting to make a point about social mores. I'm attempting to make a point about life on this planet, because for a lot of years, probably 2,000 years, we've been in hyper masculinity. You could say we've been in hyper masculinity all the way to the extreme right. Male energy has been dominating the planet. Female energy has been subjugated. Female energy has been stepped on. Female energy has been spat upon. Female energy has been held down. Female energy has been bottled up. Female energy has been made fun of. Female energy, this strong male energy, has done everything it can for at least 2,000 years to stifle all feminine energy. And it's also an attempt to stifle the divine feminine, the sacred feminine. Now, you know, we talked about just a few months ago, and I need to probably revisit this, the arise of Sophia. I believe Sophia was the first Christ. That's going to blow a lot of your minds. Trisha G in the house. So nice to see you, dear. Very nice to see you. And we need to get Trisha G back on the channel. So if we are so far into male spirituality, male domination socially, male domination spiritually, male domination socially, and that is not debatable. This is a male dominated society. It's a male dominated planet. And sooner or later, it has to change. Sooner or later, it has to change. And I believe, as I'm sure that many of you do, I had a brief conversation with Sandra D about this. And the myth that I've read says that Sophia helped create the earth. And I believe that she was the first manifestation of the Christ coming down as Lilith. And the solar eclipse was the end of Sophia's correction that we just had in August. So anyway, many of you, I'm sure Trisha would agree, Jolie would agree, Diane would agree, Amanda would agree, and I think most of you gentlemen in the chat would also agree that we're seeing a resurgence, that we're seeing signs of a resurgence of female spirituality. We're seeing signs of a resurgence in feminine spirituality. People like me are beginning to talk more about feminine spirituality. People like you are beginning to demand more talk about female sacredness, sacred feminine. And it's starting to happen. It's kind of like the pot that's bubbling on the stove and it's about to boil and it's covered with a lid. That's usually a bad prescription if you're trying to keep the contents of the pot in the pot. So hypermasculinity is a bad thing. Hypermasculinity, well, we shouldn't say bad. Hypermasculinity is not an ideal condition. Hypermasculinity is a very, very poor condition. It needs to be changed. It needs to be done away with. It needs to be broken. May I also say that hyperfemininity won't be any better in a spiritual form. It might be a little better sociologically. It might be a little better culturally, at least for a time. But the goal is not hyper-femininity. The goal is not hyper-feminism. Hyper-masculinity, no bueno. Hyper-femininity, also no bueno. We do need balance, Liz. But I have to ask you, if the immutable laws of this nature, if the immutable laws of the nature of this world say that, as Sandra says, it's about the middle way, true. If the immutable laws are, I know it's off screen, but if you drop this from hyper masculine, it goes automatically to hyper feminine. The way the pendulum swings is from one extreme to the other. Now, we can argue that. We can debate that. We can chant about that. We can anoint our genitals about that. We can do a lot of things about that. But the laws of physical nature of this reality say it swings from one extreme to the other. Mike's on point. It takes time to stabilize. Adam says, by nature, it does that. Journeyman says, we don't need to make that rash a change. I understand you, Journeyman, and I agree with you, but if it is to change, the laws, the immutable laws of this reality says this is how it changes. Period. I could do this a million times, and every time it's going extreme feminine. Every time it's going extreme feminine, from extreme masculine to extreme feminine. Every time. Every single time. But we don't want it to go from extreme masculine to extreme feminine. We don't want to go from one extreme to the other. That's the problem. But my question is, for this highly spiritual and good-looking audience, can we affect it? And how can we affect it? Sandra D says the only way to achieve external balance is to first achieve inner balance. Inner worlds, outer worlds, all is a reflection. And let me take this chance for another shameless plug. Coming up on Wednesday at noon, correct me if I'm wrong, Sandra. Coming up on Wednesday at noon, we'll be launching a new show with myself and Sandra D called Serpent and Dove. I'll let you guess who's the snake and who's the cute little bird. But we'll be kicking that off on Wednesday. And then next week, after this week, we'll probably have another new correction, another new show as well. Overcorrection, that's my issue du jour. It's all of our issues, Michelle. So I have to ask you folks, what do we do? Can we do anything? Do we just have to get in, sit down, hold on, and ride it out? Or can we actually affect this situation? I'm looking for answers. I don't really have the answers tonight. I'm looking for answers. I'm asking you, is there anything we can do? Do we have to just ride it out? Can we affect it? And if we can affect it, how do we affect it? What do we do practically? What do we do practically? T.L. Clark says we can't affect it. And I'm almost inclined to agree with him. It's the immutable laws of the nature of the world that we live in. Adam says, write it out. Thoughts, intentions, and words can affect it, says Twilight Thoughts. Oh, what would Ernst say about this? That's a great, Ernst would say, you just got to write it out. I'm pretty sure. Ernst is kind of a karma guy, but we'll ask him. What we need to do is to take this, and we need to make it go. That's what we need. Or even a little, let the ladies have their day a little bit. But nature says it goes like this. What do we do? What can we do to affect the swing of the pendulum? No doubt we're in hypermasculinity. No doubt we're starting to see the rumblings of the sacred feminine, of the divine feminine. Do we have to ride it out all the way into hyperfemininity? Or can we actually slow the swing of the pendulum? Can we stop it in the middle? The swing is needed to flush out the excess masculinity. Now, there's an interesting comment. Michelle says it's a conundrum. It's a conundrum wrapped in an enigma inside of a riddle. Put it in your mouth and use your hands as a magnet. Let the pendulum swing and adapt. I think the will of the people can change the swing. Shane Stevenson says, start with ourselves and be the change we want to see every day. This is a powerful question, Jeff, says Sandra. I'm going to contemplate it deeper. The momentum is strong. T.L. Clark says, I'm not blurry anymore. It's got to be your camera. Clean it off, brother. T.L. Clark says the swing to femininity, boom, is necessary to flush out the messed up Abrahamic religion hyper masculinity. But, you know, I'm just thinking of something as I did that last time. Watch this. If we drop it from here, boom, it really fast goes, whoops, when it doesn't hit the microphone, it really fast goes over to the extreme. Boy, there's still a lot of extreme. I don't like all this up here. I don't like that, all that up there. I don't like the hyper femininity any more than I like the hyper masculinity. I don't like that it seems that the answer is we just got to write it out. Twilight makes a good point. Let the feminine and the goddesses have their day. Robert says, what's wrong with masculinity? I miss my testosterone, frankly. Our alpha male's not in fashion. Robert, get in touch with Jay Campbell. He specializes in that sort of thing. Nothing wrong with alpha males, as long as that alpha male's in touch with his feminine side. That's a great point. Do we really need a swing into hyper femininity to wash out all the hyper masculinity? You know, I can see that, because if it swings all the way to the hyper feminine, it is going to clear the decks. It is going to clear the decks. Diane, very nicely put. Perhaps your mic was a great picture. Maybe we can create a microphone to interfere with nature to change it quickly. I got to tell you, ladies, I have to hand it to you. I really thought I would get some, well, you earmuffs. I know there's children that watch your show. You bad men, we'll just put it that way. You bad men deserve to have a little hyper femininity put on you. You men deserve a little bit of hyper femininity to come down on your heads. You deserve a little of that. You men deserve a spanking, and not in a good way. It's hard to argue with that logic, because for at least 2,000 years, power vapor supply, you're part of the problem. He says, when I think about femininity, I can't get G-strings out of my mind. This is why we need the swing to hyper femininity, to clean out the minds of all of us men. Twilight says that women aren't vengeful. We can do it only through education, through new cosmic knowledge. Thank you, T.L. Clark. And can we just talk reality right now? Oh, Amanda has man in her name. Amen. That's great, Amanda. That's powerful. There's nothing wrong with a man finding a woman very attractive. There's nothing wrong with a man finding G-strings attractive. Let's just be straight up here. We're adults. There's nothing wrong with that. It's natural. Men find women attractive. Women find women attractive. Some women find women attractive. Some men find men attractive. Some men find both attractive. Some women find both attractive. So we're not talking about finding people attractive. We're talking about respect, honor, and for masculinity and femininity. We're talking about respect and honor for the female. We're talking about respect and honor for the male. Mike makes a good point. Most men are afraid to see their female side, especially in the company of other men. It's an ego thing. Mike, you hit the nail on the head. Great comment. It is an ego thing. And most men are afraid of their feminine side. Why? Because we've been programmed for at least 2,000 years that we need to be cavemen. We need to be cavemen. We've been taught that expressing our femininity is weakness. And think of that, ladies and gentlemen. If this dominant culture has taught us that being sensitive is wrong, if this dominant culture has taught us that big boys don't cry, if this dominant culture has taught us that a man keeps his woman in line, if this dominant culture has told us that the woman is to be submissive to the man, and that's what your Apostle Paul said, the woman should submit to the man. It was your Apostle Paul that said the woman is made for the man. It is your Apostle Paul that said the woman was made as a sex doll for the man. It was your Apostle Paul that said if a woman didn't have a man to tell her what to do, she'd be having sex with all kinds of entities. It's in the Bible. It was your Apostle Paul that said women should be quiet in church. It was your Apostle Paul that said a woman should never have authority over a man. It was your Apostle Paul that said, let a woman be silent in church. Now, you can believe that if you want to, but some of you are refined enough. Some of you are aware enough. Some of you are awake enough to realize that that can't possibly be true. It can't possibly be right. And that it is the greatest symptom, the greatest signpost of a sick, degenerate system built on machismo that has been repressing and suppressing women for 2,000 years. Well, I'm not a woman. I don't care. Do you have a mother? Do you care about your mother? Do you have a sister? Do you care about your sister? Do you have a daughter? Do you care about her daughter? I remember when my first daughter was born, Charity. I'm in the delivery room. I was there for all three kids. I cut the cords, and I'm there, and she's being born. This is in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where I'm pastoring my first church, and she's born. And I remember as she came out, this is how bad I was. As she comes into the world, I'm thinking, Paul said that she has to keep her mouth shut. Paul said that she has to be subject to a man. Paul said that if it wasn't for the covering of a man, she'd be having sex with angels. Paul said that she was created for the sexual pleasure of a man. Paul said she can't have authority over a man. I'm thinking, this is my little girl, and the deck is stacked against her. You may be a man's man. How do you think? How do you feel about your mama, your sister, your daughter, your wife? Maybe you like to control women, but do you like to control your own daughters and mothers and sisters? Come on, man. We have been messing it up for 2,000 years. We've been messing it up. Times are about to change. Are they going to change to where it's going to be completely turned on us men? Men? We better find ourselves a good woman to protect us. Wouldn't that be interesting if the paradigm's completely shifted? Because now, we're taught women, find a good man to protect you. What if it becomes where we got to find a good woman to protect us? That's very, very interesting. Power vapor, you're the worst. I'm ready for women to take me out to dinner and pay for it. Oh my, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, power vapor. Always good for a little comic relief. Oh. Men, we almost deserve it. We almost deserve it. We almost deserve it. Jerry, can I help you a little bit? Forget Adam and Eve. Go back to Genesis 1, where we were created in the image of the Elohim, male and female, we were made. This is a deep, deep question. I don't really have the answer. I was hoping that maybe some of y'all would have the answer for me. Let's take the advice of Sandra D. and let's study this. Let's ponder this. Let's think about this. C.C. Williams should have something to say about this. I'm apathetic until the daughter gets in the mix. Then it's really jacked up. Absolutely, C.C. I'm with you, brother, because I've got 2 of those things. And now, C.C., just wait. I don't know if you had this experience yet, but wait till you get the granddaughter involved. And I got 3 of them. Rune, behind every successful man, there's a strong and loving woman. I don't agree. Sorry. I don't agree. I don't agree. Alongside every strong and successful man, there's a strong and successful woman. If you want to be a 10, if you want to attract a 10, you got to be a 10. This whole idea of you complete me, bogus. Bogus. There's no one that completes you except you. You'll never have a real relationship, a true relationship, a powerful relationship, a relationship that works until you're a full person like Rooney and you find a full person. If you're still looking for somebody to complete you, that's why you keep screwing it up. You remember when I said I found the one and he's me? Thank you, Michelle Cannon Free. I found the one and he's me. I'm so happy with myself. I shouldn't say this, but sometimes I take myself out to dinner and have my way with myself. I am self-sufficient. I love me. I enjoy me. I respect me in the morning. I never take advantage of myself. I never do myself wrong. I never leave myself. I'm a rapscallion. And I've never been happier in my life. It's a match made in heaven. Jeff and Jeff. Jeff loves Jeff. My sister says that when I was in high school, I used to kiss myself in the mirror before I went out. I think that sounds apocryphal. I don't really think that's true. But I could do it right now. I mean, I could kiss myself right now. I never get jealous of myself. Never. I never get mad at myself. I love me. I accept me. I'm the one. Watch this. And now, because I am the one, now because I am a strong, self-sufficient, I love me, I found the one, I'm him. Now, like T.L. Clark says, are you looking for your twin flame? No! I am my twin flame. My masculine side, my feminine side, my higher self, my damn self. I'm my own twin flame. And because, Sandra D says, here it comes. And because I am my own twin flame, and I never wake up and myself is gone. I'm always there. Of course, that was Power Vapor Supply again. I do get upset with myself every now and then. I was upset with myself this morning, but I forgave myself. Now that I'm at that place that Karen is at, I don't need anyone in my life, but it might be fun to have somebody to high five with. It might be fun to have somebody to celebrate with. It might be fun to have a shoulder to cry on. It might be fun to be of service to somebody else. Michelle Cannon Free with the line of the day, I'll never be my own piano player. Boom. Pendulum drop. Now I'm at a place. And I always said, if I ever go down that road again of a long-term monogamous relationship, it would have to be absolutely dead solid perfect. Now I'm open to it. And because I'm where I am, I don't know, folks. It just might be happening. It might be high five time. But only because, and you know what? I was so far here, I had to go way over there. I had to quit dating for 18 months completely. And I had to get myself right. And finally, when I realized, oh, there's all this craziness, there's all this drama, there's only one common denominator in all this drama. He looks at me in the mirror every time. Oh, it's me that causes the problem. It's me that needs to have work on. It's me. Oh, yeah. It's okay. I'll do the work. It's okay. I'll put in the time. And wow. I feel really good. That's how it works. I did find comfort in dating myself. Yeah. Because I learned who I was. I learned what I really needed. And there's a difference. Crypto Crouton, one of the great YouTube names. There's a lot of difference between what you want sometimes and what you need. I've done the inner shadow work, yes. Because sometimes you're so screwed up that what you think you want is exactly what you don't need. You want what you don't need. And what you need, you don't want. But every now and then, once you do the inner shadow work, once you go through this process and it comes down, then you find out what you really want and what you really need. And one day, you're straight and what you wanted the whole time is knocking on your door. And that's a pretty cool place to be. So maybe we'll be all right. Maybe we'll be all right. And we have to understand, I don't like the idea of it taking time. I don't like this whole time thing. It takes time for all this to happen. But you know what? Time is not what and like that great American philosopher, Jagger said, as J.H. Armstrong, right on cue, you can't always get what you want. But you may find sometimes you get what you need. And you can't always get what you want because the universe loves you and knows that what you want is a wreck. So instead, it gets you to where you want to be, because we all want to be divine. We all want to be sovereign. We all want to be free. We all want to be straight. We all want to be workable human beings. And when you get what you want, then you find what you need. I wish you could play songs on here, but I don't want to get, love the one you're with. If you can't, how's that go? If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. I don't think that's a message that I'm trying to send right now. Although, you know, hey. But maybe we'll be okay. Maybe we just are too worried about time. And by we, I mean me. Maybe I'm too worried about the time that it takes. And maybe, you know what? Maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it'll all come out in the wash. Maybe TL is right. And the swing of the pendulum is important to clear the deck. I'm thinking of a biblical metaphor, purge the threshing floor. All my life, I just wanted to be something. Now I just want to be nothing. Yep. I see Jerry Runk, and I always see in my mind Jerry Funk. This was some fairly profound stuff to think about. This is some fairly profound stuff to think about. So tell me, what do you think? Can we affect the swing of the pendulum? Do we even want to affect the swing of the pendulum? Should we be caring about the change, the swing of the pendulum? And it's been just too long. You know what it's time for? It's time for an appearance of the one, the only, the pushy kitten, the good boy, the official NCK mascot. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, live and in person, a feline that needs no introduction anywhere in the YouTube world. The one, the only, Rooney Tooney, the pushy kitten. Do you have anything to say, mister? Do you have anything to say? Do you know that you're a YouTube star? Rooney's in touch with his feminine side. Yes, the new cosmic kitten. Michelle, you are absolutely en fuego today. Rooney, I was away in where was I, Rooney? Fort Lauderdale, and he was by himself. So he's very, very friendly today. Hey, mister, how about some bonus meaties, because you're such a good boy? You want bonus meaties? Yeah, bonus meaties. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the new cosmic kitten. All righty then. That was actually fun. That was actually interesting. That was actually some really good stuff. People are starting to do the math. They're like, wait a second, Jeff is really neat. He wears scarves. He's got a cat. Somebody's doing the math out there right now. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. Thank you, Karen. And talk to me. Can we change it? Do we even need to change it? Do we want to change it? Do we just ride it out? 'Cause you can't always get what you want. I don't even know the tune of that song, but I did go see them in Orlando. It was pretty awesome. But sometimes you get what you need. And right now, I need to go get somebody some bonus meaties. Jeffrey Daugherty, New Cosmic Knowledge. Unindoctrinate yourself.